Possum.
Toot toot.
Toot toot, everybody.
Toot toot. Well, well, well.
Big Howell and Possum. It's Wednesday night. We're back. We're back. We're live. We're definitely live this time.
We're here.
We got a little bit of a moodier light situation going on. It's a little bit darker, just a tiny bit darker than usual. I've also got a tan. You don't have a tan.
I don't tan.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's wild.
I don't go on vacation, Big
Right.
Al. And when I do, I'm in a castle. We've talked about this.
Mm-hmm. A dark, dank castle.
The worst castles, not even the good ones.
Mm-hmm. Not even the good ones. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another week of Big Howell and Possum, our weekly YouTube show coming at you 8 p.m. every Wednesday night. Be sure to like this and subscribe and go ahead and give us a toot-toot in the chat. We've already got a toot-toot from Casual Johnable.
Oh, well, hello, toot toot.
And then Casual Johnable says, Darker is Big Howell and Possum part of the DC Extended Universe. That's a good one right there.
Oh, I love that.
Wow. Rang dong.
Rang dong. It's
You
sitting
got
right
it.
there in front of us.
You got it. Exactly, Casual Johnable. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us a toot toot. We're going to go ahead and give people a little time right now, a little opportunity, because you might have just pulled this up. You might have seen a Live in 5 post, and you might have clicked on that. You might have come over here. You might not be logged into your YouTube. You might not be ready. You might not have yourself a nice Wednesday wet like I do.
Oh, yeah.
And you might just be thinking, what the heck is this? Well, this is a show where you sit down, you join us in the chat, you give us a toot-toot, you let us know where you're tooting from, of course, and we just have a conversation about all kinds of things. We're going to talk about current events. We're going to talk about what's been going on in our lives. So we're going to give you a moment now to go ahead and make yourself a nice, cool, refreshing drink. Sit down, relax, log into your YouTube, and sign up or sign in. Log into your YouTube. Said that a few times, and then give us a little toot toot over here in the chat. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're watching.
Yeah, you know what? Get comfy. Take off your shoes.
Get comfortable. We'll wait. You seen that? We'll wait.
I like that.
You like it?
Yeah.
That's something that's been going around lately, where it's they'll people will post just a text image to Instagram or whatever, and it'll say something. I don't know when this started, but they'll start out. It'll say something like, anybody on here like to sprinkle a little sugar on their cornflakes? And then they'll go, we'll wait, or I'll wait at the bottom, like they're waiting for you to reply, which I don't know when that was ever in question. I don't know why people started saying that, but it's nice. It's nice to hear. It's nice to not have a sense of urgency when it's something like that you got to think about. You know?
It's nice to be waited on.
So that's our approach here. We're just chilling out, and we just want some toots in the chat. You know what I mean?
I feed on toots.
Yeah, you
I
do.
do.
You really do.
I do. I start to
Literally and metaphorically, he feeds on toots.
If I don't get the correct amount of toots each day, I start to feel sort of bad. Kind of feel poorly. Mm-hmm. And I know that you might not see it, but I see it in you, Big Al.
You see a toot deficiency in me?
I can tell when you're low on toots. Now, so
Right.
far, we're good today. But when
I feel full of toots today.
you kind of turn green
Oh, really?
when you get low on toots. Yeah, a slight greenish hue. It puts me
Well,
off.
and that's bad because in this environment, I'm like, if I turn green, I'm like to fade right into the Nevada desert here.
Like, you absolutely like to fade away.
If I turn green, I just McFly out, just from the image.
I feel like maybe McFlying out is your big fear. Is that correct?
I do not want to McFly out.
Yeah. You don't want to McFly like an eagle?
I do not want to McFly like an eagle. I'd rather burn out than McFly away.
Oh, toot toot, that's gorgeous.
Toot toot.
That's
Yep.
gorgeous.
We'll put that one
gorgeous.
on a T-shirt. Put toot toot on the front. We'll put I'd rather burn out than McFly away on the back.
God damn.
Because you got to have something on the back. This is a problem I have with today's T-shirts, especially today's entertainment T-shirts. They don't put anything on the back. Got to have some big letters on the back
And most times
that say
people,
like when you were born or whatever.
Right, and most people are looking at your back anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Because you're always so fast. That
Well, if you got a nice, funny, sassy thing written on the front of the tee, I mean, for sure that person's going to be looking at your back when you walk away because they're going to go, who the hell? Who walks around like that?
Exactly.
Who is that twisted?
Right.
And then you walk away and they look at the back of your shirt and they're like, there's nothing on there.
I used to have a tank top.
What a poser. Nothing on the back.
Big Hal, I used to have a tank top that said "Fear Smells" on the front. Okay?
Now, is that saying fear smells like you can smell fear, or is that saying you should fear smells?
Well, see,
is it a warning to fear smells?
Here's the thing. If there was no statement on the back, you would be left wondering, as you are now.
I am. Yeah.
But on the back...
What did it say on the back?
On the back of the tank top, this dang thing said, "And I can smell you." It was raw.
That is raw.
It was fucking raw.
Woo! Rang dong.
Rang dong.
Wow.
That's a shirt.
Man, that is a hell of a shirt. I would have a real hard time giving a person like that any kind of guff or any reason to come at me at all if they had a shirt like that on.
And that was the time of my life where I just barely got any guff at all. And I lost that shirt and like, shit, I'm just Patrick Guffey.
Yep, you had all that confidence right there written on your tongue.
Yeah, it's gone.
What happened to that shirt?
I'm not sure. I spilled chocolate sauce on it, and I woke up the next day and it was gone. My theory is that birds ate it.
Do birds like chocolate?
Well,
folks, are you back? Have you put some comfy slippers on? Have you taken whatever jacket you were wearing, taken it off and put on a cardigan and zipped it halfway up?
Oh.
And sat down with your nice Wednesday wet? Have you joined us and signed in to YouTube and subscribed to this channel? And if so, I forgot what question after all that I was going to ask. Do birds like chocolate? Do they?
Because I think a bird stole my chocolate shirt. Can you hear me? I think my bird stole my chocolate shirt.
Your bird? Do you have a bird?
No.
Oh.
I just think some bird just stole my shirt.
My bird. You just say my bird. Like, hey, my bird.
Oh.
When you see a bird, is that...
Oh, yeah, I do that sometimes. Like
my bird!
If it's a fellow.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up, my bird?
Yeah, if it's doing something you agree with, you go, my bird!
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's eating some popcorn.
Right.
Being kind of
That's right.
I'm like,
I get it. Get it. My bird.
My bird.
That's right.
Now, if he's walking around pooping while he's walking, I will also say, my bird. I like that.
All right. Well, we got some great T-shirt ideas here already.
They're spilling out of us.
My bird is one for sure. Yeah. All right. So, Casual Johnable pops in with another comment in the chat. I think birds are attracted to the ants that get on the chocolate. That's smart.
Might could be.
Yep.
Toot.
Casual Johnable is probably like a scientist.
I feel like he is. Yeah, he is a scientist.
Yeah.
I feel like he is.
Mm-hmm.
Because of stuff like that.
Yep. Just getting a real smart, sharp vibe off of Casual Johnable.
And so far, Johnable has never given us guff, and he's a regular viewer. Now, guff is an option, but he don't push that button.
Yeah.
I like that.
No interest in guff.
Doesn't seem to really do anything for him.
Yeah. All right, folks. We are, in a little bit, we're going to go over some current events. We're gonna, as always, we're gonna talk to whoever's up here in the chat, and a little later in the evening, we are going to debate and have the final say. We're gonna decide definitively for all time whether hot food or cold food is better. And so if you have an opinion on that, be sure to just pop on into that chat. Give us a toot, and tell us whether you like hot food or cold food. And we'll take your opinion and your considerations, or we'll take your opinion and your reasoning into consideration for the debate.
And
so you can be a part of it.
If I could say, Big Hal, I think that what's tight about the way we debate is we are trying to find the right answer. It's not about winning or losing.
Right.
We really just want to figure out, is hot food better than cold food? Is cold food better than hot food?
You can tell Possum lost last week because he's making a big point of saying we're just looking for the right answer and not just trying to win.
Well, I felt like we just learned something last week, Big Hal. I didn't feel like there was a winner or a loser.
No, that's a good point. I'm just giving you a little bit of guff. A little bit of guff. Because that spices life up a little bit. But yeah, no, we are, in fact, looking for a definitive thing.
We're looking for truth.
Since we have to pick a side to make this debate happen, and we flip a coin, get who gets to go first and stuff. So we just want to know the right answer. We're just curious. We're just curious about stuff in the world.
We're just curious creatures, both of us. I'm
we
technically
sure are.
more of a creature than you, but you're still a creature. Toot toot.
Toot toot. That is true. I am. Well, I mean, we're both creatures, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, a creature in a negative sense, I'm more of that. I look more like a monster than you do,
Tell that to my wife.
Oh! Toot.
Hey, Mr. Possum.
Hey, Big Al.
I heard you went to an amusement park the other day.
Well, I sure did.
Which one did you go to? Did you go to that kingdom? Did you go to that holiday world?
Nah, those are too mainstream, Big Al. I like to be different.
You don't like going to the mainstream amusement parks?
No, I went to Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland.
Oh, wow. Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland?
It's where they don't take your wallet for a ride, and they promise not to lock the doors while you're there.
Oh. Well, that's the slogan? They say not locking the doors in the slogan?
Yeah, you don't remember them commercials?
I do not remember the commercials for Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland.
Oh, my God. Big Al. It's like, Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland, where they don't take your wallet for a ride, and they promise not to lock the doors while you're here. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that one bit.
Shit my bed.
Well, all right. Okay.
It stunk.
So it wasn't good?
No.
So you didn't like it there?
Terrible.
So you had a bad time at Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland.
I had a very, very bad time at Funky Jim's.
What happened?
Well, I show up and all the rides are closed.
Oh.
All of them.
What?
And the food places are closed. All of them. They ain't even got trash in the trash cans.
Oh, that must have been a real bummer for you.
The place was freaking threadbare. It's barren. And standing there is old Funky Jim himself.
Oh, you got to meet Funky Jim himself, though.
Yeah, he's there with his shirt unbuttoned, wearing one sock. His pants clean off in a pile on the ground, Big Al.
His pants in a pile on the ground. The owner.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I says, Funky Jim, what the hell's going on here if your rides are all closed? And your park's deserted, buddy. And your clothes. Half in a heap on the ground.
What?
And he says, Mr. Possum, this park has fallen on hard times because it was built on an ancient burial ground that curses whatever is built here upon it.
Wow.
I said, what?
Yeah, what?
I went like this. What?
Yeah, I bet you did.
And he said, 'tis true, Mr. Possum. The first ride I built in this park was called the Spine Twister. And on its very first day, that ride broke a rider's back.
Ooh, double wow. Yikes.
And he says,
That's
then
awful.
I built a ride called the Skin Ripper. And on its very first day, a rider was torn from his seat and hideously disfigured.
Wow, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, it is. So he says, for my third ride, I built a contraption called the Limb Remover.
Why? Why would you call it that? That's terrible.
I mean,
it's a terrible
Funky.
name for a ride.
Funky Jim.
Especially with this pattern we appear to have going.
Right, it's reckless at this point.
The Limb Remover was
Guess
the
how
name
that
of it.
went.
Probably not good.
Now it went pretty macabre. So it happened again. Not only not one this time, but several riders lost body parts to the first day the ride is in operation.
I'm starting to see why this is a discount wonderland.
Yeah. So then a guy says, furthermore, the bank starts breathing down my neck like they do at this point because none of my rides are working and I'm being sued. Nobody's coming to the park because the cousin died there or whatever. You know?
Well, it has been a rough time lately for small businesses. So that's I'm sure a lot of people will understand that.
Well, Funky Jim is no exception.
Right.
So he says, so I hatched a scheme, big little possum.
He said Big Little Possum,
Yeah.
huh? He's been watching that show on
Yeah.
Showtime.
Yeah.
Big Little Possum.
Yeah, he's been watching that thing. So he says, hey, guys, so I hatched a scheme. I decided since whenever I call the... Shit. My yarn.
Yep.
Oh, it hurts.
No, we're doing great. You're
Yeah.
doing great.
So he says, I hatched...
I'm loving this story, by the way.
It's so good. Just gotta hang in with me.
Yeah. All right.
So he says, buddy, I hatched a scheme.
He's got a scheme. Funky Jim's got a scheme.
He senses the pattern, too, at this point.
Right. Well, he's a smart
correct
guy.
it. Funky Jim's no fool.
Yeah.
Misguided, maybe.
Sure.
He said, so I realized since whatever I call the ride ends up happening, I'll just name them something good for me, instead of a skin ripper. Maybe
Now
something
that's smart.
positive.
That's smart.
Just wait for it, Big Owl.
Okay.
He says, I wanted the guys building my next ride to find a pit of money. Pretty good, right?
Yeah,
so
it's all right.
So he says, I named it the Money Pit.
Ooh.
Should we?
Hmm.
How do you think that turned out? Guy says...
Probably not good.
Well, shit, he says, it didn't work. I just sank a bunch of cash into it. So the next
Sure.
ride...
Yeah, money pit. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the guy doesn't understand the common usage of money pit.
Sure.
So the next ride he hoped would strike Earl, so I called it the Big Strike. But that
He was hoping the builders would strike oil while they were digging for the ride.
Right, not in a dangerous way, but like I'm rich
Like,
now.
oh, I'm rich now. I got some oil.
Yeah.
So he called it the Big Strike.
Big Strike.
I have a feeling that didn't go so well either.
It didn't work. It didn't really work out good.
So labor dispute, probably, right?
Now, you're a lot quicker than Funky Jim in that regard.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
So then he says, well, then I was really desperate, so I tried to liquidate my assets.
Oh, yikes.
And this is how he talks to me. And I'm dressed like this. Shit. So he called his next ride the Liquidator.
Oh, god damn.
He says, Mr. Possum, that scheme also did not work the way I had intended in an ironically tragic way. Kind of long-winded, but I figured he figured, somebody turned into soup.
Sure.
Liquidator. Somebody got turned into a real hot human soup.
Right. So real just a tragedy of errors, not even a comedy at this
One
point.
after another.
Just one after another.
So I said, well, Funky Jim, you have wasted most of my day at your bad park.
Right.
And you have still not explained why your shirt is unbuttoned, one sock is off, and your pants are in a pile on the dirty ground. And Funky Jim says, well, Mr. Possum, the bank arrived this morning, and they said they're here to foreclose. And I said, foreclose? Shit, I figured you'd be here for money. Toot toot.
Toot toot, ladies and gentlemen.
He disrobed for the bank. Took every stitch
Woo!
of Funky Jim.
Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland. Wow. All right. So good yarn. What ended up happening with so the bank probably didn't take his clothes. They probably actually did want money and they probably shut him down, right?
Right. I mean, that was a cute display,
Right.
but they definitely just
So-
hammered him for money.
Yeah. So the whole thing probably closed now.
It
Completely, right.
finally died. I mean, that
Right.
thing just needed to die. It was
Sure.
like
sure.
my dog that died, just wandering around the yard looking for a porch to die under.
Sure.
Not the funnest amusement park, you'd say.
Yeah, so that's so where would you rank it? If you're ranking Funky Jim's Discount Wonderland and watching your dog wander around in the backyard for a place to die, which is above the other?
I'd say the amusement park is not quite as bad as the dog.
Okay. All right.
But it's there.
I
in the
understand.
same
I
neighborhood.
understand. Yeah.
The dog haunts me.
All right, we got Jazzarino up in the chat giving us a toot toot. Welcome, Jazzarino.
Oh, toot toot, Jazzarino.
We got Simon McKim up in the chat. Toot toot, Simon.
Rang dong. I think we're going to switch up the catchphrase. What do you think?
I don't think Rang Dong is a perfect. I don't think it exactly replaces Toot Toot.
You don't think so?
No, Rang Dong does not replace Toot Toot. Toot Toot's a cheery hello. It's something. It's like aloha.
You're right. I get restless.
Yep. You're just trying to keep us always on the cutting edge. Because like you said, you're not into the mainstream stuff.
Right.
But sometimes you just got to find something comfortable and just let it be.
Well, you're right, Big
And
Hal.
Toot Toot is that comfortable thing we got to let be. Because I don't feel like making another graphic for Rang Dong.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm sorry for not giving Simon his proper Toot Toot. So, Toot Toot.
Toot
Sorry, I
Toot,
gave you a
Simon,
Rang
once
Dong.
again. Go ahead. Hey, Jazzarino, Casual Johnable, Simon McKim. Go ahead and give us, let us know what your thoughts on hot food versus cold food are.
Yes, please.
You got an opinion on hot food versus cold food? Anybody?
I'll wait.
We'll
See what I
wait.
did?
We'll wait. Yep, that's right.
Hope y'all got your shoes off and making fists with your toes and your
Yeah,
own
yeah. Relax. Get your shoes off. Rub them in that nice long carpet.
Yeah.
Just chill out.
Who cares?
Who cares about anything? So what are we? Jazzarino says, "Give it to me straight out of the fridge." So we got a cold food fan here.
Got a coldie. Coldie hard.
Casual Johnable, loophole to your argument, pizza.
Where's the loophole?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the loophole. We're not yet making an argument, Casual Johnable. I think I get where he's coming from. I think I get what he's going for,
Sure.
which is that pizza can both be a hot and cold food.
Right. But the
It can be
question is-
one of the hottest foods when you first get it, and it's guaranteed to burn your mouth.
Right.
Guaranteed. And then the next day, of course, breakfast. It's cold. It's for 39, 38 degrees.
I would say that as a ground rule, we're not going to classify whether some foods are both cold and hot. It depends on where they are in time.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, now just the question is pizza better hot or is it better cold? And that we will settle that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we will. Yes, John will do. Scientifically minded, Johnable. Do not worry. We are going to also settle whether hot pizza is better than cold pizza.
Now, I think it's very interesting what Jazzarino says. She says that straight out of the fridge. And that means every food, she needs it to come out of a fridge. Mm-hmm. She's a straight up coldie Han. She's got to have it cold all the time.
Right, right.
Now, that's hardcore.
Yeah, well, Coldie Hawn.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Who's the Kurt Russell to her Coldie Hawn?
Captain Hot.
No, Kurt would be like, her Kurt Russell is
It's a
Captain Hot?
Stretch of a pun on Captain
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of two eggs of a different color.
Captain Hot. I like it.
Or overboard.
I like it. I'll keep it. So anyway, so let's see. Let's just check on the chat here real quick. For some reason, this is not going down the way I want it to. Oh, what on earth? Okay, so why would it not? Well, that's frustrating. That that my browser is not moving the way I would like it to. But there we go. This one's working fine. And we would like to take a moment on our 10th episode, Big 1-0, our first double-digit Big Howell and Possum live stream here on YouTube, Toot Toot. We would like to take a moment to thank our subscribers. So we're going to go down our subscriber list, and we're going to thank each and every one of you, because you're great.
I'm going to go get something for our 10th anniversary. You go ahead and start reading.
Okay.
I got an idea.
Watch him disappear into the ether
Oh.
right here. Oh,
I got
whoa!
an idea.
Did you see that? All right. So I'm going to go. This is going to be in order of most recent subscriber. Trista Nicole. Thank you so much, Trista, for subscribing to us here on YouTube, Big Howell and Possum's home, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Trista Nicole. John Lannon. Thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing. And, give us a like. Let's see. Mr. C.J. Bird. We talked about that before, didn't we? Mr. C.J. Bird. That's like when you see a jaybird and you say, my bird. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got fun times all night. A description of our show, obviously. So probably made an account just to describe our show. All right, we got Aaron Fouts or Fouts or Fat. Do you know how that's said?
We've
Fouts?
had this talk. It's Fouts.
Okay, I'm not expected to remember these sorts of things.
Shit. I'm going to give everybody a recorder. Toot toot.
We got Kitten Butt Tube. Thank you for subscribing, Kitten Butt. We got Etsign. Clever name there. Etsign. All right, we got Lee Blevins. That's the sound for Lee Blevins. Are they each going to get a unique toot toot?
Maybe.
if you have enough toot toots in you.
Yeah, this thing
You have enough unique toots.
I got this at the Funky Jim's discount gift store, and there's only a certain amount of sounds it'll play.
Right.
I think it's got 50 toot toots.
Okay. Well, I think that'll, you know what, for the number of subscribers we have, I think that's just about right.
That might be just enough, Big Al.
Just about enough. All right, we got Brandon Jones. Jonesy, toot toot, buddy. Crystal Sullivan.
I can't get this. Doesn't have enough spit, or is it
I really feel like your toot toot for Crystal should have been something a little more crystal clear. You know what I mean? Like a pure tone. There you go. That's nice.
Oh, that was nice.
Casual Johnable. Let's have a casual toot toot for Casual Johnable. That's sweet. All right, Lawrence the Primate. Whew. Toot toot. Yep. Brian Derringer. Yeah, dangerous sounding name there, Brian Derringer. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. We got S.J. Kentucky.
That one kind of petered out.
It did. It sure did. Eric J. Well, now we're just gonna. The length of the second toot is like the defining factor of each of these things. Eric J. Congratulations on your long second toot.
Good toot.
All right, Sinister Mercy. Whoa! We're being followed by like a death metal band. All right, John Lucas Murphy. Thank you for subscribing. I've noticed when you play that thing, you shove that thing way deep into your mouth.
Yeah.
To play it.
Yes, I do. I get it.
Now I played recorder in the recorder ensemble.
Did you?
In grade school. I was a little boy. Just imagine me wearing a little turtleneck, and little navy blue pants at a Catholic school in the recorder ensemble, standing in a big group, and just all going doop 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 doop. You know, doing different, doing like probably Mary Had a Little Lamb or something like that. I don't know which, but I will tell you this. So, I did not blow into the recorder when I was in the recorder ensemble.
You faked it?
I faked it.
Oh, Jesus.
I made it into the group, which if I recall correctly, had some kind of like requirement of performance expectation to make it into the group.
Oh, Big Al.
And I recall performing at the school, like the big showcase where they do all the different groups. They got the flute ensemble, they got the recorder ensemble, they got the guitar ensemble, they got all those things. And they pull out these dumb little kids playing recorders. And I just stood there and went like this. Literally just did this with my fingers, with my parents watching and everything.
Oh my God.
And just yay, great. Everything was great. Anyway. And they let me stay in it. Now, who was fooled by that, I do not know.
Everybody.
Yeah, probably. Because what's the difference between doing this and doing this?
You're like old Flutie Manilli.
Yep, that's true. I was there for my looks. I was the hot one in the recorder ensemble, probably.
You need a hot one. They're right to keep you.
Now let's see. Look at this. I
get it in deep to where I'm almost choking
so
on
deep.
It, Big Al.
Yeah.
I like it deep.
Can you clamp down a little better in the back of your throat there? Is that why? It's impressive, though. It's very impressive that you can play it back there. All right, so we got, did I say John Lucas Murphy?
Yeah.
So you're not giving him another toot toot?
He gets one goddamn toot toot.
Okay, Franny Powers. Whoa!
She got kind of a booty
She
boop
got
boop boop.
toot 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 toot. All right, Jazzerino. Wow.
What about that?
That was,
Like I'm charming a snake out of a basket.
yeah. Jazzerino, you've been charmed. Rang dong. All right, okay, DJs. Let's give them a toot toot. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I thought so.
Bill Montgomery. Classic rock artist Bill Montgomery. Greg Welsh. Thank you so much for subscribing, Greg Welsh. Random Toxie.
Toot toot. It's out of toot toots.
That thing's out of toots. All right, so yeah, well, you bought it at the discount place, so it only has so many toots.
Yeah, now if
All
I'm
right.
blowing it, it'll backfire and hurt my lungs.
And then, of course, we've got Nathan P.
Toot toot.
Toot toot. Old King of Guff himself. All right, well, that was fun. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we could do that for you. But really, we do appreciate y'all tuning in. It's great to have you here in the chat. Let's see if we've got anybody else.
I don't like to be alone. Can I just say that? I don't care for it. I like to have some company, so thanks for the toot toots and joining us in the desert.
This really has improved Possum's life so much. I want you to know how much me stealing some overalls off a Scarecrow and sticking them on this possum, and you guys tuning in to hear what kinds of silly things he has to say, how much it has improved this creature's life.
It's gotten me off the streets. Mm-hmm. I might be the most respected individual who wears these kind of clothes.
For just a simple click of subscribe on our channel and a few likes and one toot toot a week, you can keep this little boy off the street and keep him in his little Oshkosh bagosh.
That's right. I'm gonna join a gang if you don't keep coming.
You better keep watching, or he's in a gang. That's tough to think about, isn't it?
And I hear that they still do those beat-ins where they beat you up to get you.
Oh yeah,
I don't think I'd survive
they damn near
that.
kill you.
Like to die in that old beat-in.
Mm-hmm. Shall we talk about the news, my friend?
Let's get into
Shall we get into the news? All right, folks. Like most people, like most Americans, we get our news from our one source for news, tedbaglessnews.net.
Ted Bagless.
And we got some real piping hot stories for you this week in honor of Hot Food versus Cold Food Week.
They're also refreshingly cold.
You know what? You're going to feel the whole gamut of temperature-related refreshment here in this current events section tonight. I will say, Casual Johnable says hard to decide hot food versus cold food. Both have benefits. Well, that seems like a coward's rationale, does it not?
Sounds like the old.
Sounds like you're
sitting on the
scared.
fence.
You're scared of jumping into one yard versus the other.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got, and then he says Recorder Gate, which I think is a bit of a dig on me, as though I conspired to become some kind of famous recorder player.
Well, you did make the fool out of everybody on your team.
I made a fool of everyone in that auditorium. That is true. I willfully did that, but I've not parlayed that into any kind of personal success.
No,
all.
you have not.
I'm not like the guy that everybody knows from the recorder group, right?
Maybe some guys. Maybe some people.
Some people probably remember that performance. They think back. There's probably some old lady who was at that performance, and on her very deathbed, right before she slipped off, right before she fell out of her mortal coil, some lady thought back on one of the most wonderful musical experiences of her life and thought about, ooh-wee!
We lost a light.
We lost a light!
How's it look? Is it acceptable? Oh, God.
It's pretty dark.
It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable, folks.
Oh.
But the bit I was doing was that...
I'll fix that.
Was,
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You
I'll say, Mr. Possum, I imagine that as some woman was slipping off into the eternal slumber of oblivious sleep, maybe she thought about my performance in that. What is this? What are you doing?
That in the shot?
Yeah, it's in the shot.
It is?
And now I'm darker than I was before.
Drop my hat.
This is really good. This is a good bit. You know
What's
what?
that?
I look great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's just do the rest of the show with me sitting on your lap.
Yeah. No, I think you'll probably be okay. This has been an episode of Mr. Possum doing the lighting rigging for the show. Ladies and gentlemen.
Coming back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I recommend getting yourself a marsupial to do your lighting for all your production needs.
How am I look?
We look fine. This will be fine.
In this
we
dark
look like,
area we're in.
We look like we're around the campfire. I don't know what the main screen's going to look like after this.
We won't go back to the main screen. How's that?
Yeah, screw the main
The
screen.
black room suits us for the debate anyway.
You like this? I like it a lot. See, we look mysterious. We look cool. All right, let's get into the news. As I said before, we get our news from tedbaglessnews.net, our one source, and your one source for news. Unless you're looking for more lifestyle tips and stuff, in which case you head over to tedbaglessnews2.net, which is more of like a HuffPo type of place. All right, so breaking First Amendment crisis. Ted Bagless permanently banned from his own CVS. We got a First Amendment crisis here on our hands. Our main source for news has been kicked out of his own CVS, the CVS he goes to. They've kicked him out. He's been setting up a table to sell his own supplements in there.
I see.
And they said he can't do that anymore. And so they booted him out. And he kept coming back in, and he kept setting up the table to sell like his mitochondrial inhibitors.
Oh yeah,
you know, and his and his copper pills and all that stuff. He's selling his supplements in there, and they said you can't do that, and he kept trying to do that because he said, "Listen, it's a free country. I can sell my supplements where I want. Plus, this is my CVS. This is where I come for my sodas and things."
Right, it's his.
Yeah. So you got to let me do this. And they said no when they kicked him out. And he can't go back.
Well, Bagless, I only just say I'm sorry that you got kicked out of your CVS, and I've been there, and I'm sorry.
It's a darn shame.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, what kind of, it sets a weird precedent to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, we can't just set up our own shop in a CVS and sell food to whoever walks by.
What would Thomas Jefferson
or
think
supplements,
of that?
or whatever drinks or anything, or beverages or anything. Exactly. What would Thomas Jefferson think about that?
What would old T.J. Bird think?
Right. What would Teddy Roosevelt think about that?
Oh, he'd be even more mad.
What would Grant think of that?
Well, I think Grant would probably be a little cooler about it.
Probably. What would Woodrow Wilson think about that?
I think he'd be a prick about it.
Probably. What would John Quincy Adams' wife think about that?
Oh, well, she had the most exquisite character. I think that she would take up for Mr. Bagless.
Sure.
And ultimately lose, but she would try.
Right. That's kind of the story of her life.
Right.
All right. So, solidarity with Ted. Sorry about that. Sorry you got to start going to the Walgreens. That's too bad. It's a shame.
Well, they're going to have the same dang problem with him.
Well, I think just to even buy stuff, he's going to have to start going to the Walgreens because he just plumb can't get into the CVS anymore.
Boy,
they won't let him in.
He really ruffled some feathers in there.
I mean, what is the world coming to? You know?
I bet you if George Foreman walked in there or something, they wouldn't kick him out. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. George Foreman could stand there all day and sell his little grills.
His little stupid grills.
Yeah. But a guy comes in with, pills that contain lead fragments and actual poison to confuse your mitochondria.
Science.
Actual science. Actual real science. And he's selling that. And they won't let him do it. They won't let him do it in there. Just because of some minor ideological difference.
I tell you.
That's crazy.
We got any good news here on Bagless?
Well, not immediately, because the next big headline is hail, colon. How long has this been going on?
Hey, Bagless, listen up. Hail is real.
Hail is real. That's true. That's a true statement. I think Bagless is referring, if I remember reading this correctly, Bagless is referring to some recent hailstorms and being out in them and just wondering, how long has this been going on?
Right.
It's a little hard to tell. So what's this? What's the hail about?
Yeah.
We got hail now?
He's taking hail.
How long's this been going on?
He's taking it personally. Because it hits you in the head and bonks you, and you say, ouch. Who's that hitting me?
Well, and then you're walking down the street, or you're driving, or you're riding your moped down the street. Hail starts pelting at you, and you go, ouch, what's this? Who's doing this? And then you look up, and the whole sky's doing it to you. The whole sky. And then you go, how long's this been going on? What is this part of the deal? Is this part of life?
That's a fair question. Now, in this article, he does not answer, right? He just...
Well, there is. I mean, what? I think he's calling out to the world like you would. How long's this been going on?
Yeah.
I don't think there is a...
Nobody really knows.
Well, no person knows. Who needs to answer? The dang sky needs to answer that question.
Ask a cloud, you know?
You know? Seriously. How long you been doing this? Is this you gonna start doing this more?
You got that right.
This is something you think this is cool.
See, Bagless don't like that sky guff.
Yeah. That's the most amount of guff the sky can give you.
Pretty much.
Because they had apparently they had some hail recently that just killed a bunch of zoo animals. Did you hear about that?
No. Anybody cute die, or is it just the
Well, some of your birds,
ones?
some of your pals, some of your birds died.
Oh.
That's a shame.
It is a shame.
It's a damn shame.
Well, they went out doing what they love, being in cages and eating popcorn scraps.
Mm-hmm. And being pelted by rocks from the sky.
Yep.
How long's that been going on? Crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy to think the sky can just throw rocks at you.
It can.
And that it thinks that's fine, that it thinks that's good behavior.
Well, you know, some of these birds probably did something to deserve it in their lives.
Mm-hmm. All right, next headline is Billy Two Kids, unsung outlaw of the American West.
Oh, finally, an article about Billy Two Kids.
Yep. So Ted Bagless is researching, I think, to do a book on Billy Two Kids, the lesser-known outlaw. Of course, everybody knows Billy the Kid. You know, that's sort of your everyday outlaw reference. But apparently there was a guy back then by the name of Billy Two Kids.
Do we have a picture of him?
Oh, actually, yes, we do. We do have a picture of Billy Two Kids.
I'd like to see him.
Here he is.
He's
let's
big.
Let's pull up Billy Two Kids over here. What do I do? Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right, so there's Billy Two Kids.
He's handsome.
Mm-hmm. Much more handsome. I'd say twice as handsome as Billy the Kid for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that.
So he's so Billy the Kid, he was twice as handsome as or Billy Two Kids was twice as handsome as Billy the Kid. He killed 16 men. He shot 16 men dead, as opposed to Billy the Kid's 8.
He killed twice.
Killed twice as many men as Billy the Kid, and yet nobody knows about it.
See, that makes me mad.
He lived to be 42, so he lived twice as long as Billy the Kid. Impressive, right?
Yeah, doubly.
Yeah, just twice. Just twice as much life, just twice as many stories, just twice as many cool adventures, as many hanging out with his young gun friends. He lived to be 42.
Did you know that Billy the Kid was born in some boring Irish town, but Billy Two Kids was born in Dublin?
I did not, but that's incredible to hear
incredible.
That. I mean,
he doubles everything.
I can't wait for Ted Bagless's book about this because Billy the Kid was shot by Pat Garrett,
right,
and killed. Billy Two Kids was shot twice by Pat Garrett and killed.
It's so
at the age of of 42. Now, Billy Two Kids, of course, was killed on April 56th, 3762.
Right.
As opposed to Billy the Kid, who was killed April 28th, 1881. So
Double.
yeah, it's the same. It's just twice as much.
Double the years.
Yeah. So, all right, asbestos is back, baby. He's excited about this one.
I'm not
Asbestos
sure how I
is
feel
finally back. You know, they're going to bring back asbestos. It's big news.
Now, is that the actor that was related to the Sheens?
Emilio
Estevez?
Emilio Estevez.
Is that who is he back? Is he going to act again? Emilio Estevez? I hope so.
Maybe that's part of the deal. Maybe that's part of the contract. They're going to bring back... No, asbestos is like a fireproof material.
Oh, I feel silly. Go ahead.
That gives you mesothelioma.
Oh, that's not great.
No, mesothelioma is awesome. It's great. No, it's not.
It makes your lungs stronger and harder.
Makes your lungs fireproof.
Oh, well, shit. You can sleep with dragons.
Yep. You can sleep with dragons, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd sleep with a dragon.
Have you ever met a dragon, Mr. Possum?
I think there was a creature that might have been a dragon, and I never did tag his ear and follow him around, to figure it out for sure. But maybe.
What gave you the inclination that he was a dragon?
He had a very hot mouth, Big Howell. Seems like he.
You have a pretty hot mouth, though.
Even hotter than mine. I've seen him drink hot sauce that'll wilt a flyer. And he was a lizard, so I thought, shit, he might be a dragon. Mm-hmm. Maybe you gotta drink a certain amount of hot sauce to get that fire. But that's a different story for a different day.
I think it is, yeah, because we gotta get through this thing. But anyway, so no big deal. They're just gonna start putting asbestos back in everybody's homes and offices and stuff. No big deal, Toot toot. Use whatever you gotta use. I say, hey, lead pipes. Let's bring those back. Lead paint. Let's bring that stuff back. Why not?
Well, people in the lead jobs need jobs.
Really? Use whatever you want. I can't think of any bad reason you would use asbestos or lead paint. So anyway, welcome back, Emilio Estevez. Casual Johnable says asbestos for the rest of us.
Now that's clearly going to be their slogan.
That's toot-worthy. Yep. That is the slogan for the new asbestos companies. Look forward to seeing how this all plays out eventually for class action lawsuits and things like that. All right. Last headline. New cheese bar craze has folks saying cheddar done. You like that? You like that? He threw a little.
Like that.
He threw a little spice in there. He threw a little flavor in that headline.
Finally,
I'm excited about this one. Unfortunately, it's these new cheese bars are being built in a time of increased asbestos usage, so they might not be the healthiest places to hang out. But we are going to start seeing popping up all over the place a bar like you'd go to get a drink, to get your Wednesday wet or whatever.
Yeah.
A bar where you can order a shot glass of like stadium nacho cheese, like concession stand nacho cheese.
Boy.
So,
oh my God!
Exactly. It's a great idea, is it not?
I wish
terrific
I
idea.
My head could just float around all around the room, just
or spin completely.
Oh, I'd love it.
Let's
Make
all right.
It spin.
So here we go. So, bars that serve a shot glass of concession stand nacho cheese.
What? Oh my God!
Look at that. So, let's see. It's a new craze in the service industry. We got one right here. Let's pull that up. So this is a bar that's opened here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's called Dipshits.
Ooh.
Dipshits Nacho Grande cheese bar.
Ooh, I can't wait to go to Dipshits.
It's got El Nacho Grande nacho cheese sauce on tap. you can just you bring basically whatever food you want to dip into the cheese, and they just sell you for a couple of bucks or something. They sell you a shot glass of your favorite concession stand cheese. So you can bring pretzels in there. You can bring your own nachos in there. You can do whatever you want to do. But they have it hot and ready and on tap for you.
Well, if I have one quibble, Big Al, it's that they give you a shot glass. Can't you fill up a sneaker with it? I want to have a lot of that cheese.
Oh, I think you just order you could probably order a pint of the damn stuff.
So I can bring my own shoe and fill it up?
That might be bar to bar. That might be it depends on their policy, or depends on maybe the local, the city, the city liquor laws or whatever.
Yeah.
Sort of depends.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I'd like that cheese. That's my liquor law.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got another comment from Johnable. Thank you so much for engaging in the chat this week, Casual Johnable. It says, if they license Game of Thrones asbestos, it'll fly off the shelves.
Very true.
Fly like one of them dragons they got on that show, right off the shelves.
Yes.
Yep. They'll put maybe they'll make a. What could they make? They could make a white water. It's white, so they could make a White Walker out of asbestos, and it would kind of flake off and disintegrate in your home, much like a White Walker would.
Right.
And then and create a kind of dust that would eventually kill you or disable you, much like a White Walker would as well.
And are they not resistant to fire?
White Walkers?
Yeah.
I don't know how they do with fire.
Fire's the one thing that kills them. No, that won't work. It can't work.
I think they might be okay with fire.
No.
I think they might be.
Nuh-uh,
it's that dragon stone that does them in.
Dragon glass kills them, and fire kills them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you burn the corpse. Game of Thrones. Coming back, 2025? That's when that next season is going to be on?
They're making the church just perfect.
Yeah. Well, they got the crew is working on those Avatar movies right now. And then when those are all done, then they're going to do the next Game of Thrones season.
Gotta finish all them blue.
Gotta finish all those Avatar movies first. All right, let's get into our debate. We only got we're running fast and hard right at 9 p.m. right now. We're running into it. So let's start our debate.
Well, I think we can settle this quickly.
We don't have to settle it quickly. We can settle it in whatever amount of time we want.
What if we did a little sizzle right here where we played the little promo and then we say, stay tuned for the debate? Or is it too late to do that since you just said, let's do it?
It's not too late.
Business is hard.
It's not too late. It's not too late. It's a good point. So, anyway, as my partner in crime, Mr. Possum, just pointed out, we're excited to be in partnership as sponsors of us this week.
Yes.
The Lil Andy Show, occurring this coming Saturday, has given us a promo to play during the show.
Yep.
And we're going to play that right now, and you're going to find out everything you need to know about what you're doing Saturday night. Right?
Yes, sir.
Let's pull that thing up. Let's pull that bad boy up. So, Lil Andy, here's the promo.
Hey y'all, it's me, Lil Andy, and I'm having a party at Zanzibar on August 11th. And you know when I'm having a party, it means two things. I'm going to do the Macarena. Hey, Macarena. And I'm going to have a lot of snacks. So bring your snacks to my little snackums party at August 11th at Zanzibar. If you bring a snack for me, you can get half off your admission. But yeah! So come on down to Zanzibar on August 11th. Vogue. Y'all remember that? Okay, bye!
Let's debate!
Let's do it!
All right.
Now, I remember flipping that coin earlier.
We flipped a coin, and we determined that I would go first this week with the debate on which is better, hot or cold food.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I am taking the position that hot food is better than cold food. Now that might surprise some of you, knowing what a fan I am of cool, refreshing beverages in the summertime, and it being summertime right now, which is probably this is probably the worst season to argue hot food versus cold food, because summer is the cold food season. It's when people look forward to consuming cold foods in the summertime because it makes it tolerable. That does not say anything overall about the quality of cold food. It just means this is an inopportune time for a person such as myself, who's on record as loving cold milkshakes and stuff like that, which I would argue is a beverage, not a food.
Can I say good job so far? This is quite the opening statement. Go ahead.
Thank you. I feel like I'm going in a bunch of different directions.
No, you're going. It's great.
Let me back it up a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and define our terms if I can. That's how I kind of want to start this. I want to be as scientific as I can about hot and cold food, and I want to talk about what we're talking about when we talk about hot and cold food. So we've got levels, right? We've got layers upon layers of hot food gradiating down towards cold food. So there's different levels of food temperature. We've got piping hot food, which of course is your stews and your fajitas, those kinds of things. Those are what we would call piping hot foods, right?
They make sounds. They're so hot.
Right. They're just popping at you. You know, a little bacon right there in the pan is just sizzling at you. That's a piping hot food. Then you go a little bit lower in temperature, and you got yourself like just a hot food, just below piping hot. So that'd be like a roast chicken with maybe some like cheesy scallop potatoes on the side. That's just a hot food right there.
A hot plop.
Right? And then you go a little bit lower. You're getting a little bit lower, and you probably got, like, as Casual Johnable said earlier, you got like you got the kind of food, you got the kind of pizza that where you're starting to enjoy eating it after it's like not too hot anymore from when they just brought it out, where it's burned in your mouth, right? So it's like acceptable pizza. Then you got all the different ranges of acceptable pizza heat going down into where we cross the threshold into cold foods. And you get into like refrigerator temperature, next day, cold food.
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn's favorite type of meal to eat.
Right.
And then, once you get down past breakfast pizza temperature, you start getting into those frosty, frozen foods. Your popsicles, your ice cream and such.
Right.
Right?
Peas, carrots.
Now, I would argue that hot food is better than cold food overall, in the sense that there's more there's more pleasure to be found in introducing a hot hunk of food into your body than there is to be found in introducing a cold hunk of food into your body at any given point, including sometimes in the summertime. I think heat opens up flavors. It opens up aromas. It softens textures a bit. It helps your mouth. It helps your mouth mash the food by softening it up. There's so many qualities that heat adds to food as well. Now, grill marks. Let's talk about grill marks for a second.
30 seconds.
I have 30 seconds to finish this up. So I'm not going to talk about grill marks anymore. We all know how much we love grill marks. Let's just say that was one of my points. Grill marks. You love them. They look great. They taste great. All right. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Well, that's Big Hal's opening argument for hot food.
I really wish, as a debater, that I had not finished that with "I don't know what else to say."
It's not strong to do that. But you know what? It's not about winning or losing, is it? It's about finding the truth. So who cares if you're strong or weak looking in a debate? It doesn't really matter, right?
I kind of wish I had finished stronger than that.
Story
Because I feel
mile.
like maybe I would have won.
Well, we shall see.
Let's see if style versus substance wins here.
Let's see.
Because I will lose if style is the deciding factor.
Well, I'm carrying the side of cold food here tonight, and let me
Okay.
just remind you, I'm just a simple country possum.
That's true.
I don't own a microwave. I don't have an oven or a stove, or even a fire with a griddle. I'm just a simple country possum. And what I find is that my mouth heats up the food just fine. I don't need no microwave. I've got the hot in my mouth. And what I tend to do is I put a piece of food in my mouth, and if it's cold, my mouth will warm it up. So I will concede that only spoiled little turds with appliances will argue for a hot food. Cold food, thank you.
All right. So let me take this in for a second. You're saying, as a simple man,
Yes, sir.
as a simple, humble country possum,
Through.
you don't think food should require any kind of appliance to be involved in it at all.
Nope. Take it as it comes. Put it in there, warm it up yourself with your mouth.
Well, what if it comes hot? What if it's sitting on the asphalt on a hot summer day? What if I crack an egg on the sidewalk on a hot summer day and you come across that?
Well, Big Hal, I've got a
Are
pretty
you a
hot
simple
mouth.
man? Are you too simple of a man to even eat that hot egg that I have grilled for you on the sidewalk?
Of course I'd eat that sidewalk egg.
Okay.
My mouth is so hot.
Would you prefer that to me cracking an egg in the snow midwinter?
I'd eat 'em both. God damn it, because my mouth is so hot that anything you put in there is going to be colder than my mouth.
Okay.
So I'll just get it the right temperature. It's not that I like to swallow cold food. I'm just saying my mouth heats up food.
So your mouth is the temperature of boiling water at any given moment.
I don't get drinks very often. I get a dry mouth, and goddamn, sometimes the inside of my mouth is like a microwave.
Right. So, in essence, anything you put in your mouth is going to be hot food because your mouth cooks it.
Yes, sir.
I put to you, good sir, that in fact you have never tasted cold food because, as you have admitted on this here stand, your mouth is a convention of it.
Let me tell you something right now, sir. I have tasted cold food. It's cold when I put it in there.
Sure.
Now, I don't need it to be heated up myself. Now, if someone says, do you want this hot plate or this cold plate? I will take the humbler cold plate and I'll do the work myself. It's cold when it goes in. It's the right temperature when I swallow it. Now, the question is the food when it touches my tongue, or is it food in my throat?
It's a good question. That's interesting. That's interesting to think about because there's a certain aspect of eating where you are chemically and mechanically altering the physical makeup of that food. So you're chewing it up, you're unlocking flavors, unlocking experiences, unlocking textures, and as you chew it, you make it colder or hotter. A little burp there from Mr. Possum there. It's cute.
Excuse me.
You unlock flavors, you change textures, you chemically alter the physical nature of the food, and whether it is cold or hot, the process of eating it changes a bit. It changes how hot it is and how cold it is. Just the process of chewing it up in your mouth, mashing it up in your mouth. You make it a little bit colder if it's hot. You make it a little bit hotter if it's cold. So, we need to define what the right temperature is before it even hits your lips, before it hits your mouth. That's how we solve this. Because it's once it gets into that mouth, there's almost no saying what it is anymore. Rules go out the window. We're on some kind of quantum thing when it's in your mouth, because that thing is going to be changing. If it's in your mouth, it's going to immediately go to like a boiling hot temperature because you got that hot, wet, dry mouth. Hot, wet, dry mouth.
It's more dry, but that's
hot,
too
dry
cheap.
mouth.
I put this question to you, sir. So we have a plate of cold food. We have a plate of hot food. Which one should I take? Now, we are saying that forget what happens in the mouth. That's
Exactly.
your own personal
That's what I'm
business.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's how we figure this out.
That's your personal business in your mouth. I will say that with a really hot item, a really hot food, you could put that in your mouth and it could burn the roof of your mouth, taking a layer of skin off the roof of your mouth, leaving it on the edge of the bite, and say you don't finish that bite. Some scientist goes up there, scrapes that edge of that bite, clones you. Then what have you done?
So you're saying one of the potential hazards of hot food is that you could end up being cloned as a result of trying to take a bite of it and having a chunk of your mouth come off.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll take that point.
You know what? That's my closing argument.
All right. Well, we have a question here from the chat from Jazzarino.
Okay.
Says, what is the temperature of your mouth compared to a horse's, Mr. Possum? Is your mouth hotter than a horse's mouth?
Yes.
You ever made out with a horse?
Yes, I have. I've
Okay.
passionately kissed a horse.
You've passionately kissed a horse. And was their mouth refreshing to you or hotter than your mouth?
It was nice, but it wasn't hotter than my mouth. It was
Okay.
kind of like kissing a tube of toothpaste. It was kind of minty almost.
Okay, so clearly the horse reduced the temperature of your mouth.
And when I kissed that horse, she kind of went, woo! Like, that's a hot mouth. And I was like, bet your boots, it's a hot day.
Yeah. So you probably burned a little bit of skin off the inside of that horse's mouth.
Yeah, I've got some horse clone in my teeth.
Horse DNA. You
Yeah.
got to swab a horse DNA in your mouth. Still.
If I ever need to frame
Burn
that
to
horse
the side.
for murder, I could do that.
All right, listen, I'm gonna make my final argument, which is that we have brought ourselves to an understanding that it doesn't make sense to talk about what happens in your mouth
No.
with regards to the food, because you are altering the heat and the coldness of the food by the mechanics and the atmosphere in your very own mouth. So, what I'm going to say is, I got a plate of steaming hot spaghetti, and I got a plate of freezing cold spaghetti. The aroma coming off of that hot spaghetti is preferable. The texture of just simply playing with that hot spaghetti is preferable. There's so much about a hot plate of spaghetti that is preferable to a cold plate of spaghetti that I would argue the answer is sitting right there in front of you.
Rang
You
on.
have the two plates sitting on your table. You are reaching for that hot spaghetti more than you're reaching for that cold spaghetti, because one is active. It is it is altering the very air around you with aroma, smells. You're hearing those noodles slap against each other. That cold spaghetti's doing nothing for you. Throw that cold spaghetti in the garbage. Eat that hot spaghetti. Hot food, in my opinion, wins the debate. Those are my final remarks.
I think that we should go to the chat and see if somebody is it mouth pleasure or is it evil clone murder?
Oh, you want to back up a little bit? You want to make it about mouth pleasure again? Look at how dark the light has gotten once more.
We
in
are
this.
fading out. I mean, that's,
Look at how dark
oh my
you are.
God! Shit!
I like that this debate has had us slowly like slinking off into space. This is cool.
Oh my God! I like to just pick up my head and be myself.
I'm just a dark. I'm just sitting here in the pure black darkness arguing about hot spaghetti. Love it.
Ain't
All right,
that
yeah.
America?
So anybody...
You and me.
All right, so next person in the chat decides whether hot food is better than cold food.
Perfect. Let's get out of here before...
Let's get out of here before we disappear entirely.
Oh, my God. We need to get a lighting guy.
Yeah, we do. We definitely need to do something besides just lighten whatever oily trash you found over the course of the day.
We lit a Fazoli's breadstick on fire.
Yep. We found an old pizza box. Found an old Papa John's pizza box and lit that thing on fire. Look at how dark we are. My word! You guys can't see this, but Possum has a recorder in his mouth, and he's managed to eke a few more toots out of that thing. All right, Casual Johnable says hot. That decides it.
I don't like how these debates are framed. Okay, toot.
Hot food wins, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for hot food.
Typical human-centric
Let's
debate.
hear it for hot food. Let's see what happens if we go to a Guffler. Look how dark we are.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
It looks like the Pink Panther.
All right. Well, as hot food won, I'm going to give it to hot beverage here and say that our debates and our show are brought to you by Guffalert Hot Soda, the only soda that does not require you to heat it up in the microwave. You just shake that can, and it heats right up for you. Creates an atmosphere. You crack that thing open, you can smell that soda much more than with a cold soda.
And rub
that's
it in
a
my
wonderful
face.
thing. And when I crack open a hot can of Guffalert Hot Soda, I feel as though I am being whisked away to a planet that faces the sun at all times. To the side of a planet that faces the sun at all times. That gets no relief from spinning around and having a nighttime. That's what I feel when I crack open a hot Guffalert soda.
When you put it like that, Big Al, I gotta say, hot sounds kind of good.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Big Howell and Possum.
I like how this looks.
Okay, Casual Johnable says he's giving you guff, Mr. Possum. Of course I'm giving him guff. It's a guff alert.
It's the way of guff.
All right, well, thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you for joining in on the chat. We want to thank our subscribers and all of our all the people that have liked our videos. Be sure to come down to Zanzibar Saturday night for the little Andy's food special.
We're
food
both
show.
gonna be there. I'm gonna get some of them scraps.
We are both going to be there. Mr. Possum's coming. He's my +1. And I am opening up the show with some jingles that I've written for various restaurants.
Oh, jingles.
Yeah. I'm going to be performing some lifestyle jingles that blend your patriotism and your emotional nostalgia with your need for like getting a Fazoli's breadstick in your mouth.
Oh, I'm loving it already.
You are loving it. I unfortunately did not write the "I'm loving it" theme for McDonald's.
There's
but
still time.
I could write it tonight.
Yep.
I'll give it a shot. As soon as we're close tonight, I'm God, getting a lot of great burps out of my friend Mr. Possum here tonight.
Burping in the dark.
Yeah.
Belching in the night.
You know, being poorly lit makes you very gassy.
Yeah. I get swampy in this swampy environment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've tried to end this thing a few times. So let's just go ahead and do it. We'll see you all Saturday at Zanzibar. At what, 8 p.m.?
9. Well, doors at 8. Get there at 8. Get yourself a seat.
Get there at 8. Get yourself some nachos or some tachos.
Don't be a dick and show up late, because that show's going to start at 9 o'clock sharp.
It's going to start at 9 o'clock sharp, and we're not letting you in if you're not there at 9 o'clock sharp.
That's right.
All right, folks. We love y'all. This has been Big Howell and Possum for another week. Tune in next week at 8 p.m. here on YouTube and find yourself whisked away to a hot world of hot soda.
I'm sneaking up on you like a Dracula. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Oh, you're like a Dracula that's gonna burp on me. Big Howell and Possum.
Toot toot.